Howdy, this is Granny back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover my round 1 of thoughts for the new Cull Obsidian and Drax arenas. So the first thing I always like to do is compare these arenas or categorize these arenas to past arenas, and that'll allow me to do some trend analysis. And with feature arenas, or new, I should say, yeah, pretty much feature arenas, really there's two types. New and old champs, obviously Cull, he's new to the game. Drax with a 4-star basic arena, really there's 3 types: low interest, medium interest, and high. And I think we've seen plenty of examples where champs like Drax fall into that low bucket. So now that I've got these categorized, let's take a look at some past results. Speaking of the 4-star basic, low interest, it's kind of the standard suit at this point. And this is, just because low interest doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile champs. There's plenty of worthwhile champs that fall in this area. You can see here a couple with Yondu and Carnage all kind of falling within that 165 range. And that's been kind of pretty consistent here over the last kind of, I would say handful, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 even kind of arenas that fall into that low interest bucket. So there's no reason why we would expect those numbers to change this time around. And then it gets interesting with the feature arena. Outside of the 3-star, 3-star is pretty consistent, anywhere from 1.35 to 1.4. It seems like these numbers continue to trend up a little higher each time around. So with the veterans bracket now, we're really looking at it getting close to 1.4 million. And then this is where we start seeing a little bit more variation with the 4-star feature. For the most part, you're kind of around 11 and 12, but occasionally you'll get those 8.3 and those lower numbers to fall for new champs. And out of the recent batch of new champs in the game, Annihilus came in at 8.3, whereas Nick Fury, Human Torch, and Ronin all came in around 11 to 12 million. And there's no reason to believe that, especially with all the hype with Cull Obsidian right now, that he would fall into that lower bucket. Instead, we should think that he'll push numbers closer to an 11 and 12, just like the 12 million most recently, like from Ronin. Now, 5-star feature, that's definitely where there's some variation, where you'll have kind of the lower end with around between 30 and 35 million that you see with Annihilus and Ronin. I know Ronin was a little bit higher than 35 million, but still kind of in that lower ballpark range. Then there's a mid kind of range within the new 5-star feature, around 40 million with Nick Fury. And then when the hype level is a little bit higher, you'll see the 51 million like we saw with Human Torch. Now, Human Torch still scored 51, and folks knew that he wasn't the greatest champ in terms of how he plays in the game, but his animations are great, plus just the Human Torch being part of Fantastic Four, etc., that, you know, he was just going, there was plenty of hype to come out and get him similar to Thing. But what was interesting, looking at Thing and more recently Mr. Sinister, those numbers were closer to 60 million. We're actually over 60 million. However, since some bot accounts were pulled out of the game, etc., these numbers have definitely all lowered. Nick Fury, there was plenty of interest. He went 41 million, and again, Human Torch came in at 51. So considering all these trends, here are my thoughts for the round 1 cutoffs in the veteran bracket. Again, the veterans bracket means you've been in your account has been open. Not how long you've been playing it, but your account has been open for over 61 days. And for the veterans bracket, I think we're going to be looking at, for the 5-star feature Cull, around 55 million. Again, this is the Human Torch kind of zone plus a little bit, because here's the Human Torch situation where people know Cull Obsidian is a good champ. Some of the contest, or I should say the content creator folks with their preview videos have really got the hype level pretty high, so people are out there trying to, will likely grind to get him to push those numbers again. Probably right around the Human Torch, a little bit higher at 55 million. With the 4-star feature with hype level high, you're looking at 12 million. Now again, with Ronin, the 4-star basic, there's no reason to think it'll be any different than that 1.65 million range. And then lastly, for the 3-star feature, again, the 3-star feature numbers have been trending a little bit higher each time for newer champs, so I think we'll go with a flat 1.4 million for the cutoff. Now, if you're new to the channel, just to be clear, or just as a reminder for folks who watch my videos often, this is not an exact science game. I try to get within 5 to 10% of the actual cutoff. I can't get, it's difficult to get any closer than that. So keeping that in mind, I always try to give like a grind target. So this is where I think the cutoffs will be. It says grind target. If you really don't want to miss on the champ, this is what you need to go to. 58 million for Cull 5-star. For the 4-star version of Cull Obsidian, go to 13.5 million. For Drax, go to 1.8 million, and lastly, for the 3-star version of Cull, go to 1.45 million. And again, the grind targets as well as the predictions are for the veterans bracket. If you're playing a newer account in the game, you're in the beginners bracket. If your account is brand new, all the way up to 30 days, and for the intermediate bracket, 31 to 60 days. If you're in the beginners bracket, what I seen with my own account a couple months ago, you're looking at 3-star feature around 245, 4-star basic around 500, and a 4-star feature 900,000. Now, what I've been hearing from some folks here recently, though, and there's data to show that since Endgame came out, there's been a lot of folks download the game, and all the new players in the game, and always people go and create different, second alt accounts, etc. Kind of like myself did recently with free-to-play accounts. Anyway, we're starting to hear these numbers tick up a bit, so kind of keep in mind these were numbers that I heard, from based off of my own experience plus feedback from the community over the last couple months, but the most recent feedback have these numbers going a little bit higher, so keep that in mind. Same thing for the intermediate bracket. 3-star feature was around 550, but it might have crept up a bit. 4-star basic for sure 950, 4-star feature as well for 950. These numbers have probably ticked up a little bit over 1 million, so you might want to give yourself a little buffer. If you can go to 1.1 million, go ahead and do that to make sure you get the champs. Especially if you got a new account and you're able to go for the 4-star version of Cull Obsidian, lucky you, because that'll be a great champ that you'll probably be using through a lot of the early progression through the game. But anyway, these are my thoughts for round 1 of the Cull Obsidian and Drax arenas. Would love to hear your thoughts, especially if you have any questions. Throw it on down in the comment section. We can discuss them there. Other than that, if you like this video, we'd really appreciate it if you click that thumbs up button. If you like this and other videos I have on the channel, we'd really appreciate it. Subscribe. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.